with another video, and this time we'll be discussing about promise.allSettled. So what is promise.allSettled? Basically, promise.allSettled is a method which takes an array of promises and returns a single promise, and this promise resolves with an array of objects which holds the value and the status, and in case of failure it holds a reason. So in this video we'll try to implement our own version of promise.allSettled. So let's first try to see a working example of promise.allSettled. So I'll be creating a promise object. Let's call it promise1, new promise. We'll take two callbacks, resolve and reject, and then we'll be resolving it after 100 millisecond with p1. Let's create another promise, call it p2, and now let's see how promise.allSettled works. So we'll be calling promise.allSettled with promise1 and promise2, and let's do a dot then console log. Let's try to run this. So you see we get a status and a value. Status is fulfilled and the value is the data that we are returning from here, that is p1 and p2. Works fine. Let's test it with rejection as well. So we'll reject this promise with error, and then we'll add a catch handler here, where again I'll be doing console log. And now if I go ahead and run, if you see, the p2 still has fulfilled state and value p2, but the p1 has a reason error and the status is rejected. So that's how promise.allSettled works. But now our aim is to implement our own allSettled method. So what I'll do is I'll create a function. I'll call it my promise allSettled. Okay, and then we will replace promise.allSettled with this function, and then it should work exactly as how it was working before. So let's implement this function now. Now we know it is going to take a promise array. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to return a promise from here, because promise.allSettled returns an array, returns a promise. So let's write it that we need to return a promise over here. Now what we need to do is let's loop over these promises, and what we need to do after looping over, so let's figure out. What I'll do is, if this promise is resolved, right, I'll be returning an object which should have value as this data, and then status as fulfilled. And if the promise fails, then we need to handle the catch part. So we'll be getting error over here, and then from here I'll return an object, and here we will call it reason, and it should be an error, and then a status should be rejected. And then what we are doing here, I think we have a syntax mistakes. Okay, I missed to add a map over here. Now I'll do something like this. I'll just get rid of this quickly, and then I need to return this from here. Okay, so now this promises will have an array of whatever we are returning from here. And then finally what we can do here is we can have promise.all, and then we can pass it this promise over here. Now we know this promise.all will return a promise, and we'll be returning the same from here. Great, let's test this. So we'll revert this change. I'll pass resolve, I'll call it p1. So if I run this code, I should be seeing p1 and p2, and status should be fulfilled for both of them, which is what we are seeing. Now let's test the rejection. So we'll reject this promise, and I'll give an error from here, and then our p1 promise should be in a rejected state. So let's clear it, run it. Okay, so the for p1 promise we are getting status as rejected, and then reason is error, which is what we are returning from here. So yeah, this is how promise.allSettled works, and this is how we can implement a polyfill for that. If you like the video, please do let me know in the comment section, and if you want me to make another video on any other topic, please do let me in comment section as well. That's all for today. Have a good day. Thank you.